Just for the record.
Why did Stephen Son, the chief of Capitol Police,
National
say
Guard,
that they were requesting help, and she denied it? She's on camera. You're delusional. Okay.
If you're
I actually thought. Hang on.
I'm not interested.
Hang on. I actually thought
a host of the PBD podcast, Vinny Oshana, went on to Piers Morgan Uncensored. And anytime Vinny goes on Piers Morgan's show, it is absolutely glorious to watch because he destroys every single woke idiot, every single soy boy that happens to be on the panel. This time, Vinny's victim is Brian Tyler Cohen, who you probably know is one of the most well-known woke left soy boys on YouTube. He has a lot of subscribers, he has a big audience, and he melts down a whole lot, especially after Donald Trump won the 2024 presidential election, and he melted down on this panel as well. Let's get into this clip here where Vinny from the PBD podcast absolutely destroys this woke idiot, Brian Tyler Cohen.
For what?
Yeah, but why would you need a pardon for
pardon?
that? It makes no sense. So if Trump is investing, hang on. Let me ask the question. Even if it were the case that Trump wanted to open an investigation as to whether or not there was foul play during the previous administration's investigations of him, why in the world would this require a pardon to these people? That makes no sense to me at all.
Because why
would there be a requirement of a pardon?
Because why do these people need to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees on dealing with BS, which is part of their oversight duties to have done?
We don't know if it's BS. We haven't investigated it yet. What are you talking about? So we just can't investigate anybody because it could be bad.
It is part of their.
No, we don't know.
It is part. Listen, do you understand how it works? Have you ever worked on the Hill? Because I can tell you, they have immunity as senators and congresspeople to do their oversight responsibilities. There is
I thought you just said a second ago that there's going to be hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees. Now you're backtracking on that?
Of course, you'll have to go because you're going to have to go hire lawyers to be able to prove that this was part of their oversight.
I thought you just said they had immunity. Like, you can't have it both ways here.
Jesus, do you understand how this works? Yeah. You have to get a lawyer to go to court to tell a judge.
Okay, so then
all of this.
So they don't have immunity?
You obviously don't understand how it works. You obviously don't. I'm sorry. Do you not understand what I'm getting here specifically?
Julie,
because you're
no, I don't understand why these people need to have a pardon because they might be investigated for potential crimes they may have committed.
Can I tell you something?
They have nothing to worry about because there were no crimes.
What are the
then
crimes?
Why do you need the pardon? It makes no sense.
But Brian, hang on. Don't talk at once, please. Brian, you say, what are the crimes? That's the point. We don't know, and we may never know.
You're looking for crimes because Donald Trump is looking for crimes because he doesn't like Liz Cheney and the fact that she did
No,
oversight.
He genuinely believes she's broken. He genuinely believes she's committed crimes.
Here's the point. To Julie's exact point, first of all, what crimes? Second of all, it costs money to get legal representation to go prove all of this stuff. And third of all, it's moot because all of these people have immunity anyway. You are allowed to act in your oversight capacity in Congress and the Senate to pass legislation to discuss this stuff.
You didn't care when Trump had to spend on lawyers. You didn't.
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
What law was broken? Yeah, you're right. They can't break the law, but there was no law that was broken. But it doesn't change the fact.
So why do you need an all-encompassing immunity if you've never broken the law?
Why do you need all-encompassing immunity if there's no laws broken?
I don't know.
Let me bring in Vinny.
I don't know if you guys are playing dumb or not, but the fact is
I don't think it's us playing dumb, Brian.
It costs money to go forward with this.
Okay, I'm actually playing devil's advocate. I'll tell you what, look, hang on. I'm going to bring Vinny in, but I am playing devil's advocate here because I do think there's a shocking hypocrisy by the Democrats, led by Joe Biden. The whole year they banged on about the rule of law. No one's above the rule of law. And here is President Biden in his last few weeks basically riding roughshod over the rule of law to bail out all his family and all his mates.
You're pretending that it's happening in a vacuum. Piers, you're pretending that it's happening in a vacuum,
no,
and
I'm
not because Donald Trump has come out and said that he's going to use...
I'm saying you reap what you sow, though. You reap what you sow.
But Donald Trump has promised to use his Justice Department as a vehicle to enact his personal retribution toward. That is why it's happening.
All right.
By pretending that there's...
Brian,
let me bring in Vinny.
You're saying good for Brian. Good, because we want Brian. Good for him. If they did illegal shit, then go to jail. You guys are talking all that crap, and you're warning what Trump is going to do to what Biden and his DOJ has done this entire 4 years. Are you not seeing it? And
what
if you think
do?
you just feel bad because
they're
going to have to spend money, excuse me.
What do they do? Do you think Donald Trump? Do you think Donald Trump should have stored his documents in Mar-a-Lago?
For them, Julie, spending money on lawyers. How much money have they gutted out of Donald Trump? How many people have suffered for that fake-ass crossfire hurricane?
Zero, because he had his campaign paid for everything.
Zero,
Russia because people
collusion,
like you sent money
Hillary
into him.
got fined, DNC got fined. You're not going to talk over me. Let me finish. Thank you. And your whole, he incited an insurrection. It's all bullshit. There was no insurrection. He said, go quiet, go peaceful, don't hurt anybody. It got out of hand, but, well, the FBI can't even answer. How many...
Also, dude, Vinny, it's honestly completely pointless. Like, I know Vinny and PBD, they all agree, and so do I, you know. I agree. The whole, January 6th stuff, it's all overblown. We all know that. They also know that. Brian Tyler Cohen knows it. Everybody on the panel knows it. But it doesn't matter. It's pointless to even try to make that argument because they're just going to use that as fuel for the rest of time. They have now decided that they can just say whatever they want about J6 and, they get to just use that as ammunition forever. Even though Donald Trump did say, make sure you are peaceful. And whenever things got out of hand, he did say to stop. He did say to go home. But it doesn't matter because they get to now say, even though it's not true, that Donald Trump incited an insurrection and it's great ammo for them, even though it didn't really work out because Donald Trump still won the election, even though he incited an insurrection. But if you're going to get into a shouting match on Piers Morgan, don't do it with Vinny. Vinny is not losing a shouting match, dude. Vinny, this is where Vinny thrives. This is why I love watching him so much. It's great entertainment, but he also speaks nothing but facts. He is by far my favorite person on the PBD podcast. He's by far the most based person on the PBD podcast. And I also love whenever he goes on Piers Morgan Uncensored, and he's about to absolutely demolish Brian Tyler Cohen here.
How many FBI agents were on the ground? Ted Cruz asked her in Congress.
Oh my God.
How many of them incited violence? It's all fake.
Like listening
Nobody
to a
got arrested
Facebook
for
Look, if we're going to go down the conspiracy rabbit hole, there's no point even talking about this because it's like one person is saying that the Earth is round and somebody else is saying the Earth is flat. You're a flat earther. There's no point in debating.
All right, don't all talk at once.
Fit your narrative.
You're a flat
don't all talk at once.
earther.
Although I would say, Julie, hang on. I would say, Julie, if we're going to go down conspiracy routes, I do remember a 2-year conspiracy being peddled by almost everyone in the American media that Trump had the election fixed by his collusion with Vladimir Putin, which turned out to be horseshit.
That's right.
So, it does depend which conspiracy theory you want to hitch
your
home
in relation
to.
to Robert Mueller's investigation?
I don't recall ever saying that Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump colluded to steal the election. So let's not say that everybody
a lot of people did.
I will say to you,
and the media did fuel that bullshit for 2 years.
Okay, but you're asking me to debate. But Piers, you're asking right now for me to debate somebody who thinks that January 6th was a peaceful protest that got out of hand because the FBI set up these poor MAGA people.
That's exactly what it was. What do you mean? What else was it? Do you think it was a violent protest that got out of hand? What does that mean? Of course, if something got out of hand, it probably started as peaceful, right? That is exactly what it is. Donald Trump said to be peaceful. Donald Trump also said whenever things got out of hand to stop it and go home. What else is he supposed to do? Go there himself and forcefully push people out of the Capitol? Like, what do they expect him to do? I would love for somebody to ask, what was he supposed to do in that situation?
To go beat up cops.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, if we're going to have that kind of conversation, if we're going to have that kind of conversation, stop screaming in my ear, please. If we're going to have that kind of conversation,
why did
hang on.
National
Guard? The Earth is flat.
Why did they not want the National Guard there?
Just for the record.
Why did Stephen Son, the chief of Capitol Police,
National
say
Guard,
that they were requesting help, and she denied it. She's on camera. You're delusional. Okay.
If you're
I actually thought. Hang on.
I'm not interested.
Hang on. I actually thought the most interesting point that Trump made in relation to all that was the different double standard. I thought what happened on January 6th was appalling, and I think that a lot of people behaved extremely badly, and a lot of them should have gone to prison, which they did. I think maybe it was overdone, and some of them got ridiculously long sentences. But I thought the point that Trump made about the hypocrisy and double standard of how, for example, the BLM BLM rioters were treated with the devastating damage that they caused, I thought it was a very good point. And I think, again, it comes back to the hypocrisy, right? Democrats cheered on the BLM rioters. That was all in the cause of tackling racism. But here you have people who believe they were standing up for democracy. I don't agree that they were right. They shouldn't have been doing it. But there was a double. But Julie, hang on, Julie. There was a double standard. There was a double standard in how the different types of protesters got treated. There was.
Piers, if you're suggesting that Democrats cheered on BLM rioters,
no,
they gave them entire cities to destroy.
What?
They gave them whole cities to destroy.
Crazies on the left cheered on BLM rioters, and you're saying the Democratic Party cheered them on?
Yes.
Really? You're saying that? You're saying that?
Wait, everybody be quiet. Everybody be quiet. Let's ask Brian Tyler Cohen what he thinks about the BLM riots and protests. Peaceful, fiery, but mostly peaceful protests. Let's see what he thinks. I would love it because he's being awfully quiet, having a straight face right now as this lefty over here, this woman, is saying that, oh, it's only loonies on the left that defended the BLM riots. Brian Tyler Cohen's looking rather soy at the moment. So I think we should check in with him and see what he has to say, because something tells me that Brian Tyler Cohen would probably defend what happened in 2020 with those fiery but mostly peaceful protests.
You're saying that Nancy Pelosi cheered on people who were rioting and looting during the Black Lives Matter.
Yes.
They were saying it was a peaceful protest.
Show me.
You're delusional.
Show me where Nancy Pelosi at the time was saying that. Show me where Joe Biden or Nancy Pelosi or Kamala Harris or anybody else was saying that.
Too busy getting on her knees.
You know what we need now? You know what we need now? We need a group handshake, and which takes me neatly to the Donald Trump Macron love-in at the Notre Dame reopening. Which, by the way, let's just take a moment to salute the French, who have got a lot of issues right now, but the way they rebuilt Notre Dame, I was there a few months after the fire. I thought it would take 20 years. The fact they've got it back even better than before in 5 years is an amazing feat. I can only compare it that in London, one of our great bridges, Hammersmith Bridge, stopped having cars over it in the same year, 2019, because of cracks in the bridge. And today, it's now at least another 5 years before that bridge will be fixed, which means a minimum of 10 years. They rebuilt Notre Dame in 5 in France, and we couldn't get a bridge with cracks in it fixed in 10 years. I think it's embarrassing for my country. Anyway, that's nothing to do with what I want to talk to you guys about. I want to show a mashup of Trump and Macron.
Okay, I actually don't care about this mashup of Trump and Macron. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about Andrew Wilson and Vinny teaming up to destroy that woke idiot, Brian Tyler Cohen, and also the other woke idiot, the woman. I don't even know who that is, but let me know in the comments what you guys think about that glorious debate there. Things got obviously pretty heated, as things normally do whenever Vinny goes on Piers Morgan Uncensored. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this whole PBD host, which is Vinny Oshana versus Brian Tyler Cohen and the other woke idiot.